Morning, everybody. It is 4:11. I think on the 18th. In the morning. Already got to thinking. A bunch of us have been saying, socialism and communism is coming. I got thinking the other day, how exactly did Venezuela fall to socialism? So, without any further ado, let's get right to that.
Most observers cite anti-democratic governance, corruption, and mismanagement of the economy as cause of the crisis. Others attribute the crisis to the socialist, populist, or hyper-populist nature of the government's policies and the use of these policies to maintain political power. As he's done for years to retain power, Maduro manipulated the electoral process and timeline to his advantage. Electoral irregularities included everything from intimidation and disenfranchisement of voters to improper tabulation of results. According to experts, Venezuela's economy began to experience hyperinflation during the first year of Nicolas Maduro's presidency. Potential causes of the hyperinflation include heavy money printing and deficit spending.
Some of those things sounded familiar, didn't it? Kind of brings me back to one of my old points. Been getting mad about why is the right not doing anything about anything? Well, one reason is they're all in the same boat. They all have a level of corruption. If one falls, they all fall. That's one thing. Or both sides want it, and the right's just trying to act like the mediator. No, we don't want this, because again, nothing's being done about anything. Everyone keeps waiting on the next election. Democrats have already said they're going to make sure Trump isn't going to win again, just like they said last time. Which kind of goes back to how Venezuela fell to socialism. So they're just taking their playbook and using it. Have you guys seen them videos about Obama being gay? That's funny because, there's those memes about Big Mike or his wife being trans or whatever. So some pictures I had a package when she was in a dress. Or he was in a dress. I haven't really watched them. I guess I should be curious to why Obama's chef died, but I just really don't care that much because I didn't vote for Obama. Didn't follow politics during Obama. But I remember in one of my videos when I started doing a little bit of my own research and wanting to start somewhere, and I wanted to start with the most current, which would be Obama. And he had said things in his inauguration speech like forward thinking. Forward thinking was just go to socialism. And what we're looking at today, I think most of us would agree, Obama's still running the country. If you think about the genius of it, well, one, Obama just had to get ideas in place and things moving in the direction that we got to today. I said before, the first time Trump was running, nobody thought Trump was going to win, not even Trump. So they had 8 years to put everything in place. Clinton was going to fulfill the rest. So like COVID and all that was going to happen. Everything was going to happen, period. Trump was just highly unfortunate to be in office at the time. You guys ever look at it like all the things he did while he was in office? It's not hard to find his accomplishments online if you look it up. And half the time you can hear what he did when he has his speeches, because he'll repeat himself about it. But just imagine how much more he could have got done if Democrats would have left him alone and let him do his job. kind of brings me to another point. Trump was getting so much stuff from every direction, he couldn't do his job. Ain't nobody been in Biden's way, and look where we're at. And that's just kind of funny and ironic and everything else when you think about it, I reckon. It is to me. Like, what a shame, huh? I was having a conversation with one of my buddies on Facebook. Told him about the picture I had taken watching the C-SPAN now. It was a tremendous time to restructure things to fit our vision. And when I shared the picture, I told him, after seeing this, things like, show me your vaccine papers wasn't hard to see coming. I was called crazy for that, blah, blah, blah. It happened. Not everywhere, but some places. So the fact that it did happen means I was right. Doesn't matter how you look at it. I've also said things that are coming. DC gets the guard activated. It's gonna be a push for our guns and make the next lockdowns easier and everything else. But anyways, I trying to watch a couple of YouTubes this morning, and they're already bringing it out. Start wearing your mask again. Step 1, bring back the mask. I think the majority of us are done with it, and see, they know that. That's why they're gonna have to up security a little bit, if you will. Nobody respects the police. I don't know why they think anybody's going to respect the military. You had people out there during the summer of love or whatever burning the American flag. They ain't got no respect for the military, police, or this country. That's the whole point in all this. They're trying to destroy it. But they figure if they get the military activated and send the military after our guns, then people that's wanting to keep the guns are going to get stupid and go to war with the military. Which is very possible. Highly probable. Highly, I think. Because people are going to know when that day comes, America's done. One way or the other. And America will be changed forever. Excuse me. Been kind of rough this morning. But it's funny. We go out in public. I went and played poker and went to the fair. I ain't been to a fair since I was a teenager. No, I lie about that. I went to a fair. No, maybe I went to a fair. I think it's just a flea market. Doesn't matter. Anyways. Sitting here just thinking. Other than all the security measurements prisons have in place, if all the prisoners actually got together and took guards, blah, 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 they could take over the prison system. At least that prison. Be able to enjoy some sense of freedom inside a prison for a little while. You know, I've stated before, our guns protect your rights. See, like, we don't have to agree with abortion. And I'm sure there is people out there saying you should never get an abortion. I'm not saying that. It's none of my business what somebody does with their body. As long as I don't have to pay for it, I'm not too much worried about it. The only thing I can tell you is, nothing about it. Getting coming from a religious standpoint, I'd have to go back and look, but it was pointed out to me that even in Numbers, God like tells the rabbis how to perform an abortion. Well, that's fine, that's all right, but what I'm curious about is why God would want them to, like what sin was committed, that he would give permission for someone to abort a baby. People are like, God's not very pro-life, especially not in the Old Testament. Well, no, I agree to an extent, but then I have to completely disagree because God gave us life. God created us. So he's extremely pro-life. What he's against is sinning. When we don't listen, he doesn't like it very much. Think about what we say. Our Father, who art in heaven, right? Two first words, our Father. Some of us parents. Now, I'm not saying we want to kill our kids when they do something wrong. Let's think about how mad we get when they disobey us. Now you got to multiply that times every person on the planet. Imagine how mad you get. Why does God let bad things happen to good people? Well, if you didn't know the devil exists, bad things are happening to good people, then how would you know that God exists? One thing for it. People always say, don't ever question God's plan. I was thinking the other day, I could be very wrong on this, but maybe God knows, like me personally, he knows how many years he was going to give me on this earth. Let's say I'm wanting to quit smoking cigarettes, but let's say cigarettes catch up to me before that happens. Now, I'm not saying God knew I was going to die of cancer. He gave me the free will, and I chose to smoke cigarettes, and I want to die of cancer. Now, what I'm getting at, let's say he said he was going to give me till I'm 70. I'm 45 now. I get cancer, and I'm just going to live in pain and suffering because of my choices until 70. So yeah, maybe the cancer killed me because of my choices, but I was going to be dead at 70 either way. Does that make any sense? I don't know. So I guess I rant and raved enough. Got 11 minutes on here. Just say that is. See why Venezuela fell. Socialism. Like, how did it happen? Like, where'd they go wrong? What'd you do? What'd you do? Where'd you go to socialism for? And all these things that was easy to look up. Seems just very, very familiar because that's what's going on. And it's too bad we don't have another America to run to, you know? I mean, even if I was at the gym the other day, I always say I'm going to go, then I think about something else to talk about. I'm from the South, that's how we do things. And there's two guys talking, and I was listening, but one of the guys come up to me later, he's like, hey, you know, that guy over there, he's like, he's a liberal. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. He said, man, we've gotten in yelling matches. He's like, we're friends. He's like, but we've been in screaming matches together. Oh, man, okay. But then anyway, so I'll go to leave, I have to go to the bathroom. He just happens to be in the bathroom. And he's like, man, you know, kind of said something else. And I was like, and he still hasn't woke up yet. And he's like, no, and it baffles me. Well, it baffles me too. Because, I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean, it's just either A, you want it, which is, okay, you've got the right for that, and, you know, maybe you should go to a country that already has it, instead of messing this one up. That just makes sense. Like, you don't even have to be active about anything. Be an activist is just go over there, they'll hook you up, just right into it. Go complain about climate over there, too. God's going to destroy the world. I said that 100 times. I'm not worried about climate, not one bit, but a bunch of people are, a bunch of people are falling for it, whatever. I mean, you know, there's been ice ages before for a reason, okay? So, in flat earth theory, I hate doing that to people, but it's just to give you an understanding. In flat earth theory, the earth doesn't move because in global earth, right, we're on a fixed axis. A fixed axis, kind of like at a tilt even, right? The axis is on a tilt, holding this gravity, all this other stuff. Sun's sitting still and we're moving around it. So now we could argue maybe the earth just, and its spin goes out further. Maybe it gets a little bit further away from the sun. I don't know what their explanation for Ice Age is. There's things that never made sense to me as a kid, learning about spinning and rotating, can't see it, can't feel it, and all this other stuff. So anyways, back to flat Earth. It doesn't move, right? It's just stationary. So you got, and then you know your sun and moon, and they're rotating around, around the Earth. Well, the sun moves out a little bit further. And due times, sometime apparently it came in some, and now it's going back out. Because it's going back out, we're feeling that the effect of that, and that's why, whatever, Alaska and glaciers and things are melting because the sun's moving further out that direction. I also heard another fun theory. I'm sure I've said this in another video. When I was traveling, this guy was watched TV or something. They're spinning, right? Well, if you spin a quarter, even it wobbles and it doesn't spin in one place. It kind of moves it a little bit. So the Earth wobbled or spun a little bit out of, its normal rotation, right? But that probably happened 500 years ago because we're so far away from the sun, right? It's taken that long for us to feel the effects. But you ever think about it? Like I saw something about solar storm the other day. I don't know, it's probably like a month ago. That's my other day right now. And it says it's gonna have the solar storm, it's whatever million miles, whatever away, but who's gonna feel it kind of immediately? That's an amazing storm, or the sun's just not that far away. But anyways, can't say I'm a flat earther because first off, I don't study it. There's just a lot of things I can get behind. For instance, I'm in Tennessee, and according to the globe, so this is Earth, right? I'm standing like this, and the buildings and everything else are like this, sideways. Maybe more like this a little bit, but either way, it's sideways. And then somebody would say, well, because of gravity. Let's think about gravity. I mean, I don't know. Then again, if you Google, is gravity still a theory? They're going to say yes, and not a very good one. Might even just bring that up and post it up on here just so everybody can see that, because I was having a conversation with my brother. We're talking about he was globe earthing, I'm flat earthing. And he was like, man, I'm going to hate telling you this. He was like, but you need to know this. He's like, gravity is still a theory and it's not proven. And I was like, I told you that we've got density. But anyways. So, yeah, there's your global warming. Either we wobbled, and it happened a couple hundred years ago, we're just now feeling the effects, or we ain't spinning and all this other stuff. The sun and moon rotate around the Earth. So one of the two. Too bad none of us are going to space to see for ourselves, huh? We're just get to see pictures and videos. We've talked about that, how realistic they can make movies and creatures from movies. I was watching this guy on One American News. I've got that on right now. Always kind of have something going on. And I can't explain things the way he did, and it's part of the reason I'm reading the Bible to read it, to understand it. We're supposed to get to know God and God's Word. But I'm looking for those things to disprove aliens and all that stuff. And I have seen the name aliens in the Bible, or the word aliens. Referring to people coming, passing through, though. But basically the whole alien theory. It took religion, notched it up a little bit. So instead of angels coming from heaven and demons and stuff like that coming to earth, you have aliens. So instead of what angels and demons may or may not look like, they just turn them into big heads with big eyes. Big heads and big eyes, and they smell. Something like that. Fifth Element. Never watched it. You should watch it. It's really good, especially the first time I watched it. That's one of those movies I've watched a million times. Obviously not that many. Guys, some of you might come across this and never heard of this, I don't know, but we used to have $1.50 movie theaters. Like the bigger movies, all the new movies be like $7.50 or whatever to get in. whatever it was, $5. So you go see the movie has a new release, right? Make sure it gets that box office money, and eventually it trickle down to the $1.50 movie, and that's when you just go wear the movie out, eat your popcorn. We did that with Natural Born Killers, which got me wanting to get into movies, and Friday. Me and my best friend at that time, still one of my best friends, one of the ones still alive. We wore out Natural Born Killers and Friday. But anyways, Chris Tucker, I guess, is in the Fifth Element. Wife should be getting up any minute. Oh no, that means she has to go to work. So drop your comments, whatever, about what you think about global warming, or angels and demons now being referred to as aliens. Because I haven't studied Project Bluebeam. I'm more of an observer. I like to look around, watch people, watch things, whatever. Just I have PTSD. All right, I'm trying to watch everything, but yeah, that's twice. Yes. With that being said, I haven't studied Project Bluebeam. Just what things I have came across or watched specifically on Project Bluebeam. You look around and it makes sense. But the bad part is, other than the fact that I'd have to see lizard people, alright, there's not too many conspiracy theories you can't look up or whatever, or look into and just kind of run with it because of everything that's going on. I mean, there's a bunch out there. Some I haven't even heard of yet. I know some heard something about something. I don't even remember what they were talking about now. I'm just like, what are they even talking about? It's like right when you think you've heard it all, right? Nope, nowhere close. So we're definitely falling to socialism. And what's the way out of it? Even saying Trump, and I've said this before, the way things are now, the majority of us agree it's bad. Let's just pretend for a minute Trump does get back in office. Whatever he does, whatever happens, is going to seem just so much better than right now. That, like always, we'll be blindsided to what's really going on. And I mentioned it before. Trump had said something about tearing down old buildings and old ugly buildings, I guess, and building up new beautiful buildings and re-beautifying the cities. Then a Republican on the Fox, one of the Fox things, pointed out, well, that sounds like a 15-minute city to me. Well, wait a minute, hit the brakes, you are right. And I said this in one of my videos, because I mean, it's like I just said, hey, Trump said it, right? So it must be a good idea. That's what everybody says about Biden. Apparently. I mean, if you haven't woke up to how things are bad, then you either want it, and I understand I've got a level of Kool-Aid in me too, probably with a little bit of extra. Alright? But, damn. I mean, that's all there is to it. I don't even mean to be that way. It's just, I mean, I'm watching videos of other people catching on and waking up. And it's like, how is everybody just not getting that moment of realization? Unless you want it, like I said. Like, okay, wait a minute. This can't happen no more. That's another thing. They're bringing masks back, so we start seeing people. I'm not telling you what to do or what not to do, but I'm going to do my best not to laugh at them. It's kind of hard not to, but give them, look. We don't want people taking away our guns. Don't take away their right to wear their mask. They're doing it for their protection, just like people carry a gun for protection. Same thing. Sort of, kind of. All right, then.